Hello everybody, welcome back to the Chunkiest Deals. This is Jordan, and today I have an important weather update, as we do have a potential for some severe weather over the next couple of days, and we do have a potential for some tropical development in a couple areas over the coming week. So let's get straight into today's video. So first of all, here's our severe weather outlook for today. We have a slight risk of severe weather across much of Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western West Virginia, and southeastern Ohio. Our 2% tornado risk extends from central Tennessee through eastern Kentucky, western West Virginia, southeastern Ohio, and a sliver of southwestern Pennsylvania, where you could see an isolated and brief tornado or two today. Then our hail risk is throughout that whole slight risk area, and then we have our wind risk, and our hail risk extends from northern Texas through southeastern Ohio and western West Virginia, where you could see some isolated large hail today. Next, we do have a very thin, slight risk of severe weather from southeastern Pennsylvania through southwestern Maine tomorrow. We do have a somewhat large 2% tornado risk for that area, where we could see an isolated tornado or two tomorrow. Here's our damaging wind threat, and you can see we have that 5% wind risk from northern Georgia through eastern Virginia all the way into eastern Maine. Then our hail risk extends from northwestern South Carolina through southern New Hampshire. Finally, looking at our day 3 outlook, we do not have any severe risk areas outlined as of now. Now looking for excessive rainfall outlooks, we have one area across the Four Corners into southern Nevada and southeastern California. We have another one across eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western West Virginia, and a sliver of southeastern Ohio, and then another one across southern Florida, where we could see some isolated flash flooding today. Then tomorrow we have marginal risk of excessive rainfall across much of the Rocky Mountains, another one across more of southern Florida, and then another one across the mid-Atlantic into the northeast. And then finally, for our day 3 outlook, we have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall across much of southern Texas and across southern Florida, where you can see some more isolated flash flooding. Next, looking at the National Hurricane Center, we have a tropical system here, which could develop. Its chances of development have been lowered for the next couple of days to 40%, and in 7 days, 70%. We are unsure if this will develop, but if this does develop and get stronger, it won't have to deal with the dry air and wind shear as much, but this thing is to get organized quickly if it wants to become anything more than just a tropical depression or storm. Next, in the eastern Pacific, we have this one area, 20% chance of development in 7 days. That system has not yet formed. Now we have Kiko, which has re-intensified into a Category 4 hurricane. Here is the forecast advisory. Right now is at 115 knots or 130 miles an hour, but is expected to peak at 145 miles an hour again, with gusts all the way up to 175 miles an hour. And as it impacts Hawaii, doesn't look like Hawaii's gonna get some tropical storm force winds, but here's the forecast cone. You can see it looks like it's just gonna go a little bit north of Hawaii, but if it stays a little farther south, it could actually make landfall in Hawaii and bring some significant impacts. And even with going north of Hawaii, it could still bring some impacts like from the outer rain bands, bringing flooding, and potentially we could see some rip currents and storm surge. Next, looking at the wind speed probabilities, you can see it doesn't look likely that Hawaii will get tropical storm force winds as of now, but if it goes a little farther south, we will likely see the probabilities increase. And their hurricane wind speed probabilities, no chance of that for Hawaii. Next, looking the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, we have Peepaw, and then we also have 97W. Peepaw is currently extratropical, but it's expected to strengthen to 65 miles an hour and is a very large system. I don't know if it's actually brought tropical storm force winds to Tokyo, but it may have. Not entirely sure, but this is moving away from land and should not bring any more impacts as of now. Now look at the satellite imagery. Here's Hurricane Kiko. You can see very well organized, and it is now a larger system than it was. Here's Peepaw. You can see losing a lot of its convection. That's a sign it's becoming extratropical. Here's 91L. Very little convection, really. Although there's some on the northern side that could result in some more organization, but it doesn't look like it's gonna form soon. And then here's 97W. You can see some heavy rainfall across parts of the Philippines. Already a pretty well-defined area of low pressure there. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribing to my channel, leaving a comment down below, and sharing this video with your family and friends so they can stay updated too. Goodbye.